Getting ready to start the day. Already did my pre-trip. Just waiting for the clock to tick down. I'm stuck in this dirt lot for 34 freaking hours. But it is what it is. It's a living. I'm paying for the fact I made a poor decision. I didn't bring my winter coat. It's getting cold out here. It's 39 right now, but I spend 99.9% of my time in the truck, so we good. It just good. But I'm going home. I'll do another 34 freaking next week. Actually, I'm trying to. When you're trying to catch up on stuff, it is what it is. Let's see here. Let's see if we can make it over to what so windshield. Let's see if we can make it over to the fuel aisle without starting the clock. Ain't nobody in this daggone place until the night. Ain't that crazy? Freaking crime's got a park. I'm worried about it. Let's see. Looks like they don't have any windshield cleaners over there. I'm looking. Should have walked over there, but the truck stop don't have stuff to clean the freaking windshield. Ugh. I love it. They might. Happy Monday. Happy weekend. Happy yappy. Trying to maneuver over here. Oh, I see them. It's the small ones. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if we get something. some of it, but I'm doing 34 freaking hours here. Let's see. Time to go. But spend most of it laying down. I laid down so long that my chest hurts. And I guess that's why I was fat, folks. I laid down so long, my chest and back hurts. But there's nothing around here. Literally. Nothing freaking to do. So, and, I was thinking about it. It's, I remember, and the thing is, it's nothing I'll admit to. I'll say that. I remember when I first got out here. I was team driving. And I figured, you know what? If I'm going to be a truck driver and I'm going to screw up, I might as well screw up with someone else in the truck. And I'm so happy I did that. Because we went through some mess. I mean, my first over the road driving, I drove into a freaking blizzard. I was terrified. And I asked my co-driver, "What do you think I should do?" He said, "I don't know about you, but I'm going to bed." And I was like, "Fuck this!" We pulled up and went to bed. And I laugh about it because neither one of us didn't even know how to put chains on the tire. We just put the chain on in front of the tire and rolled the truck over it to get some momentum. I jumped out the truck while we would go driving real slow to grab the chain. Tell me how crazy that is. I'm up here in Wisconsin. I think this is Wisconsin, WI, Wisconsin, and I'm heading over, going to get closer, I believe, by geography, one of the Great Lakes to pick up this next load. I don't think I've ever been that far in the north. I'm trying to remember, it's so long. But I can only laugh at the foolishness of the experience. But I can go, it just felt so different than what it feels like now. What it feels like now is, hey, I'm working, I'm good, blah, blah, because I have an anchor at home. My anchor is my wife. We don't even talk about that, until it's ready. But like I was thinking, going to Alaska, and I want to have like his and her outfit. Well, I got his and her outfits, maybe the same hiking boots, same jacket. Try to be light, so Under Armour sells like thermal Under Armour, stuff. We get that and the same pack, so we could, look like husband and wife going to Alaska. I mean, big overburden, stuff. But when I first came out here, I think someone came in. Good morning. I apologize. I can't really see you the way I got the mount, and it's away from me. So Mike's my man takes over. Uh, what they're not telling you, uh, is you're going to be alone 99.9% of the time. And when you decide to get out of this truck, and this has been going on for at least 14 years I've been in it, all of the truck stops, all of the gas stations, all of the places, they're really not for minorities. I'll give you an example. I went into the truck stop restaurant yesterday. I said, you know what, I deserve a cooked meal. And I had this lousy, they had a lousy breakfast buffet. I had 2 plates. It wasn't even hot. You know, I'm sitting there, but I had my earpiece on. I'm looking up at the TV. It's Fox News. Talking about Trump's stupidity. A whole bunch of old white people, old white farmers. That's where I was in a farming area. One guy actually was nice to me. He said, well, they have food over there. And I'm here all the time. He must realize I was a truck driver. And I said, okay, thank you. And, you know, I left a decent tip. But there's no camaraderie there because everybody, you know, most of the lounges and these truck stops are just spewing that MAGA bull crap. And I'm not with it. You know, I'm just trying to get down the road. I'm just trying to get to, hold up. I'm about to go the wrong way. I got 3 miles. We got 3 miles to the turn. I'm not with it. And I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. But the fact is, you will buy yourself. And but you can get the boot at any time. So, you know, a lot of people they'll fill this truck to the brim with all the commodities of home. And I'm not doing that no more. They used to. Because with one mistake, you out of here. And they're not gonna just bring you back, they'll bring you to the closest yard and they leave you behind right there. And you gotta figure out how to get home. Or they'll give you a bus ticket. And then you gotta bring all that stuff down. I'm good. I'm good. I'm waiting on something right now. I might. We'll see. You stay at a place so long, you'll be on high alert. I got to get back alert, keep my eyes open, my eyes clear, and just watch what I'm doing. But you got to be able to handle how to be alone. You know, people don't even realize we weren't built for this. And like, I'm wasting money getting junk food, overpriced junk food, because I'm bored. I'm freaking bored. You gotta watch that because when you get bored, you start resorting back to food. And that's what I was doing, looking for junk food. Because I'm back to work. I'm not looking for, I'm looking for, to get down the road. You know what I mean? I try to get one thing under control, and then the next thing just resorts back to the old me. Oh, shit. It's at 52. Looks like this guy right here. I'm on 52. Oh, I got, let's see, I think this is like a 600-mile run. Man, I ain't complaining. But, I thought I was only gonna have like 13 hours or some mess on the clock, but instead I wound up doing it 34. So my clock reset. So I got a fresh set of hours, so I can just drive to my heart's content. Okay. Uh-oh. What the hell? Didn't secure something. Something fell. The thing about up here though is these country roads, man. Hopefully it ain't sending me through some sundown town because I'm not stopping. Y'all will get ran the heck over. I promise you that. I promise you. So hopefully this GPS will send me through some crazy behind town. I don't need to be here. Let me see here. Oh, okay, okay. I don't know why I keep doing that. The Bluetooth was on. Well, all that talking I did was that. Oh my God. All that talking. I looked over and seen the goofy faces. Look, I came to a stop so I could, see it right. I'm so sorry. Well, welcome to the foolishness. I do it every morning. Oh man! Because I said, why is he? I said, why is Mike doing the goof? Why am Mike doing the goofy face? You know? And I say, well, let me stop and look. I said, let me stop and look. I said, why is Mike doing the goofy face? And then I stopped and put, when well, I guess when you're nearsighted or farsighted, one of them you gotta look above the glasses and see it. And I said, oh crap. I'm like, that's why we start early, because nobody knows. That's why we start early. But now that I know I don't mind being alone. I'm just that type of person. Yes, you did. You keep your hobbies on, but mine on too. I'm that type of person is I get overwhelmed because being an empath around a lot of people, it only affects me every once in a while. I don't mind being alone, but I need to have an anchor. My wife is my anchor. My friends are my anchor because I'll be by myself, and then just start giggling and laughing by my, or something stupid, and I've learned how to entertain. I've learned how to entertain myself by myself, and it's not that I want to be alone, but it seems like I find more peace being alone. I can't have one of those jobs that I got to deal with people all day long. Because people be people, life be life, and I don't got time for it. You know what I mean? Um, we'll come back to that, but I was thinking about Margaritaville at Sea. We're going in February. Um, that looks like it's going to be fun. And the reason why I say it looks like it's going to be fun is because me and my wife are not bougie cruisers. You know, oh my God, look at the rust in the corner. Okay, we're on a ship at sea. We're on a ship that's 20 years old. Oh my God, this not work. The toilet's not working. All right, well I'm gonna go back to the room and drop a dump right there. If that ain't working, hey, call customer service. Hey, the toilet ain't working. I'm going somewhere else and drop a deuce. You know what I mean? I'm only paying it's either $600 or $900 for this cruise. My expectations gonna be as low as heck. So if I normally gain 20 to 25 pounds on a cruise, eating stuff that I should not be eating. My stomach be solid the whole time. So if they only got a small assortment, okay, that's less I need to be eating. I might just eat a breakfast, lunch, and dinner and be cut. You see what I'm saying? Oh my God. Norman's gonna be like, but they're gonna be playing all this white music. Well, welcome. It's called Margaritaville. Jimmy Buffett or whatever his name is. We're just gonna be doing that. But we can hang out, relax together. She's gonna have a book reading. I'm gonna be laying there and have some. We just gonna have some fun. She gonna love that Buddhism. That yeah, I think they say it's like 3 or 4 miles long. I'm gonna be like, hey, let's take the car. Well, no, let's walk it. She gonna want to walk it. I'm gonna be like, what the hell? She gonna want to walk it. That's my wife. Windows freezing up, steaming up or whatever. It's 32 degrees up there. Like, how you deal with this cold up there? But again, I'm back to the middle story. Being alone up here, being alone on the road, it isn't that bad if you have an anchor. You know you got someone at home. You know someone you trust. You know, and someone that ain't for the God. I thank God. That's why I'm like, I'll be out here. I'll be looking for stuff to get her. I shoot. I've been out here doing Christmas shopping, walking them 2-3 miles, you know, going Christmas shopping and having a ball, and having a good time, having fun. How do you jump in front of me? There's nobody in front of you. I can set off my camera. Stupid. That sets off my camera, y'all don't know. It makes me look like an idiot because I'm supposed to. Why didn't you hit the brake and give him, distance? Because I'm trying to do some distance. Stupid. Hold on. I don't know. I'm going to. I'm gonna leave it at 65. I don't know what the speed limit is on that backward. Well, it ain't a backward road. It's probably they one Thanksgiving probably gonna be one that's just gonna be me and the wife this year, and we're gonna cook and just have a good time by ourselves. But my wife's cousin, um, I was thinking about this, and it's so sad. She's in love with this dude. I don't know if they still together. I wouldn't be with him. Um, her birthday came up, and dude said, "Okay, I'll take you out to dinner." She's all excited. It's her birthday. She said, "All I want, you know, this specific thing," and I think it was to go out to dinner. She didn't want nothing else. Well, this guy took her to the restaurant, took her to a seafood restaurant, like it was no big deal, because he likes seafood. But guess what? She's definitely allergic to shellfish, to seafood. So why would you take her somewhere on her birthday, somewhere where you definitely she definitely allergic to it, to the restaurant? I don't know why we brought that up, but I was just thinking about that. That's freaking crazy. You gonna take somebody like that? Oh my god! But well, back to our conversation. I remember when I first got here before the internet, and man, I had the old Razor phone. Texting was no big, you didn't do texting because you had to keep on hitting that one button. Like one had A, B, C, and you had to hit it to get to the A, and then you had to hit it to get to the B. So there was no such thing as texting yet. But you called people. And I didn't realize how bad I got. They'd be on the phone with me like, look, I got to go to bed. Why you got to go to bed? I need somebody to talk to. I was feeling abandoned, man. People wouldn't even answer their phone. I was feeling abandoned. I was like, why would you talk to me? What did I do? I was sounding like a little bitch. Well, why would you talk to me? There was no GPS when I first started. You had to pull over every 20 or 30 miles and look at the map and then write down the exit. And then when you get off the exit, you had to, you had to figure out where the street was. It was a hot boo-boo mess. Yeah, if I blow by me, I'm doing like 57. Okay, let's go to 56. And what Charles was doing, he had cassette decks. I had CD playing the same song over and over and over and over and over and over and over. The same song. But hey, it was a living. You know what I mean? Oh man. Oh man, I'm laughing myself silly right now. What? Oh, okay. I think I left on good time. I'm gonna be there like it says 8:30. I'm gonna be like 3 hours early. But see, there's other things about being home on an 18 wheeler. There's some places, man. that you have to stop. You know, you'd be scared to death. I remember it was somewhere, and I think it's somewhere south, but it was in the state of Colorado. I was up in the mountain pass, and I was stuck, not stuck, but parked on the side in a parking area, and you could see there was a full moon, and I swear I don't know what the heck that sound was. Either it was a wolf or a chupacabra, whatever the heck it was. I heard something howl, and I was in the back under these covers, like that cover was going to protect me from the chupacabra or the wolf man. I'm hiding under them covers, like, what the heck was that? It was like the perfect horror movie. I'm like, what the heck was that mess? I'm like, oh, 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 mommy. you know, you know, so, and some of these places, see, that's why black folks don't do that. When but my Caucasian brothers and sisters will get out. What was that noise? And they get out the truck. Next thing you know, you see a bear or something. Come out and eat your behind. Nah, not player. Nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. You know what I mean? There's certain areas. I took pictures. I still have one of them. I said, well, if they find my dead body, they'll know what's going on. Turns out I woke up on the south end of the, what do you call that? I woke up on the south end of the Grand Canyon. You could see it. You could see it from where I was sitting, but I was worried about finding a parking spot. I was like, oh my God, I'm running out now. Like, if I run out, I was like, whatever. I'm still going to find a parking spot. You know what I mean? I know I'm going to get written up and not have a job, but I'm still going to find a parking spot. The thing is, and it's my excuse. You ain't supposed to, I cook in the truck. So I got a French knife. That French knife is good for two things. One for cooking. I'm not gonna make nothing else. But you ain't supposed to have a knife that big. I don't understand FS7, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say it like that. I think about I'm gonna get one of those. You see it on TikTok shop. It's a walking stick and retractable baton. I think I might get one of them. But I'm worst case scenario, I'll jump in the driver's seat and take off. You know what I mean? But it's the experience of knowing your surroundings. Another prime example, I was in one truck stop, so now, we're supposed to lock every trailer, and I've been working towards getting the habit of locking. And I do. I'm doing that list, so I'll say it like that. I lock every trailer. But you need guys that, will walk around in the middle of the night and break into your trailer. So if you just got a little plastic clip, they'll be back there trying to steal stuff. If you hear something, don't go back there. Start your truck up and pull that sucker out to the light, and then go look. I had to do that one time. So I looked to my left, I looked up, and I seen a head in the dark. he with. So I'm going to get my ass whooped for something that I don't even own. I'm going to be knocked the heck out, looking like a little, no. You pull that truck forward, and just go slow. Creep forward, so you don't start your clock. Creep forward and go back, and then when it's in the light, you go back there and look. You know what I mean? There is, and I'm very thankful to my friend Charles. He, he he's done 3 or 4 million miles of freedom. Um, and I literally learned how to be a truck driver because of him. I appreciate that. But he be like, look, things are gonna happen when you're by yourself. Weird stuff, you're gonna see stuff. Um, I never knew what a lot lizard was. I never knew what a lot lizard was until I got out here. And I remember I'm sitting in the driver's seat, winding down from the day driving, and I'm watching this woman go from truck to truck. I'm like, wow, that's a friendly lady. She's just saying hello to everybody. And then it dawned on me, hey, stupid, she ain't friendly. She's something else. And I said, oh, no. And I remember, and this, if my wife was listening, because way before we were married, I remember over there in uh, California. I pulled into this. I pulled into this truck stop. I was out of hours. I pulled up. As soon as I pulled up, this lady in a car, she pulled up in front of the rig, got out, grabbing the booms and saying, hey, you want some of this? I'm like, no, I'm good. And it was just knocking on it like it was a supermarket. The sun was still out. And the other truck driver next to me, he's like, screw this. Even though I'm out of hours, I'm getting the heck out of here. I just closed my curtain. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Leave me alone. And, another thing, people think you're stupid out here. There's con artists, there's professional beggars. I didn't know that. I was highly religious. I still love the Lord. Don't get me wrong. I love God. I love Jesus. Not the Jesus that these Trumpers are talking about, but I love the Lord. And I got caught into that scenario of these professional beggars. I was getting hit left and right, boy, and broke. Oh, let me give you $10. This look that God has spoken to me to give you $10. And I'm like, at the end of the week, wondering where all my money went, because God had spoken to me. The Spirit of the Lord had told me to give it to the poor. And I was starving. I was like, well, I don't know if that's the Spirit of the Lord or was I just a straight up sucker. I think I was a straight up sucker because there's been a few times where the Spirit told me go feed the dude. One time I walked by him. He was camping out in the park. Because there's one place over there in Knoxville, you walk through a park to get to the Walmart. So I said, you know what? On the way back, I'm gonna get some stuff for I got a gallon of water, a whole chicken and some stuff. And I said, hey man, I know you didn't say nothing to me, but hey, this is for you. And he's like, thank you, you know. But the mother folks, professional beggars, the spirit of the Lord had stepped in and let me give all my money away. And I was broke for a couple of weeks till it dawned on me, you know what I mean? Till it dawned on me, I don't need to be giving out all my daggone money. Or if a guy begging for money, then he pulls out a cell phone, nah, play, you ain't getting nothing. Or if I pull up to an entrance and your clothes ain't dirty, now, player, you're not getting nothing from me. You know, if I got it, I'll give it. But I'm looking at you. You might get out and walk up the street getting your band. Because people do that. People don't, nowadays, they don't care how they get whatever they need to get, but they going to get it. And being out here by yourself, you got to have some common freaking sense. Common sense will get you a long way out here. For folks that don't know what they're doing, and I'll say this. For the new folks that are coming out here, and you get a trainer, 9 times out of 10, that trainer's only got a couple of months on it. He's only been driving a couple of months longer than you have. So beware. If you got a problem out here and you're by yourself, and because these companies, what they do, they don't tell you the ins and outs of the rig they give you. They just give you the keys. They don't tell you that. I learned, like, this truck right here. This is a Cascadia. I learned the hard way because I drive with my Jake brake. I know a lot of people don't do that. I drive with my Jake brake, but you can't with this thing. You can't be on cruise control with your Jake brake on. But when you put your Jake brake on and you stop and go in the truck stop, come back out, it's on, but it isn't on. The light on the dashboard will be flashing. So you got to turn the Jake brake off and turn it back on, and then it's actually on when you got a solid light. I didn't know that. I was coming down a mountain, and I'm hauling ass, and I'm tapping on the brake and wondering how come I'm not slowing down? How come I'm not slowing down? And I was going faster and faster, and I'm still not slowing down. I'm like, well, I got the Jake brake on, and it was flashing. It wasn't on. And then I'm pushing on the brake, and another driver pulls up to the side of me, and he's blowing his horn and waving and pointing down to my tires. And I smoked all my brakes. And I was freaking terrified because I was on, man, I had to get a whole new brake job. I had to get all the brakes replaced. I was terrified. See, they don't tell you this stuff. But guess what? If you got problems and questions, man, go in that truck stop and find the oldest motherfucker in there. The ZZ Top Beard. And excuse me, I don't know if you can help me. I'm new to trucking. This is going on. And most of the times, most trucks good drivers want to be left alone, but if they got a question, they know it. That's so-and-so. You need to do this. One of my biggest, hold up a second. One of my biggest videos was a short video I did when I first started driving the Kenworth. A Kenworth Kenworth truck. The air tanks ain't that much, and they lose air real quick. So when you're backing up, The man, it drops air real quick, make you look like an idiot. That's the first thing. What? Driving and what happens is if you don't push down on the brake hard enough, it doesn't engage the clutch. On these air actuated uh, rigs, you know, they think you're doing an automatic. It still has a clutch in it. It's actuated by pushing harder, not just tapping the brake. You know, when you're in traffic and you stop and go, you're just barely tapping the brakes. Well, guess what? You're not barely tapping it, it's not engaging the clutch. And actually, there's been a light will come on. It's saying that the clutch is overheating. So I did a video and I explained what's going on. You just gotta push the brake down a little bit harder. Or like if you're trying to get into a spot, push that brake down a little bit harder. It's gonna get you on the air. And that clutch is overheating light won't come on. I've had like 8,000 views on that video alone, and people saying thank you, but they didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was. Nobody tells you when you're by yourself. They don't tell you the ins and outs of any of these vehicles. When they teach you how to drive this stuff, you go to truck driving school. They need it. It doesn't need to be a heavy load, but they need to put something in the back of that load. The inertia. It's called inertia. I think it's called inertia. That's why when you see, what do you call it? The daggone the signs for like come off ramp. We're gonna use the off ramp sign. When you see that off ramp sign, and I'm saying because you by yourself being alone on the road. I learned the hard way. This ain't a car. This is a moving death trap. This is a Mad Max vehicle. It takes a lot to stop this sucker. Actually, 3 football fields to be exact. Or 4 football field, one of the two. I remember one time I'm driving and I'm coming on the on-ramp and I'm getting like I'm driving a car. And I try to stop. At the end, I hit the stop sign, but I'm like maybe 10 feet from the stop sign. Well, guess what? This sucker didn't stop. It kept on going because the inertia and the weight, I was fully loaded in the back. It didn't stop. I kept on going. My foot was on the floor. I was standing up. It kept on going. And I lost every bit of bass in my voice. Stop! I lost every bit of bass in my voice. Stop! Luckily, nobody was around. I could have killed somebody. And I'm supposed to be the professional. You know what I mean? Same thing with water loads. If you got stuff in totes or whatever, that inertia, if you hit them brakes, you're going to try to stop it. It's going to keep on going. It's going to keep on going. Have yourself, when you get in this sucker, or when you're in this sucker, have yourself a routine. Dang, I still got 200 miles to go. Oh my God! Hey, by the way, I'm in Central. Have yourself a routine, bro. I have a routine because I'm already crazy. I've already got mental problems. I've already got, stuff that, so I call it my morning dump. I listen to happy, crazy rock and roll music and happy, crazy, sad music. So I'm yelling and screaming and crying at the same time. So I get all of my emotions back in check, and then I start my day. literally down to 1 to 2 cups of coffee a day. I used to, oh man, I used to really put it away. But have yourself a routine, and then look for happy thoughts. If you're in a bad relationship, bro, start the healing now. Get over it. Get away from her, him, or her, ladies and gentlemen, because you don't need that mess out here by yourself. You got too much time to think about that crap. You got too much time to contemplate all of the other stuff. You got too much time and talk about painful. Oh my God. You got too much time. You'll kill yourself out here. Not literally, but mentally. You'll burn yourself out. Watch out. Watch out. I use this YouTube. I already accept I ain't gonna make. I'm not gonna get my 3,000 or 4,000. I use this YouTube for denting. I use this YouTube for interaction. I use YouTube for I tell you guys what's going on with me. Y'all give me suggestions. Some be good, some be stupid as hell. But I appreciate you. I've got friends because of YouTube, and it's helped me along the way. You know, I'm, I was technically regional for a bit, but now I'm back over the road, and I'm sitting there laughing like, oh, I remember this place, like where I was for 34 hours. I usually park across the interstate at the other store, but this was a good place where I could um, empty out some unmentionables. uh, Folks that on normal to the channel know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Hey, I see Deacon Minister in there. How you doing, bro? You know what I mean? But you got to learn how to enjoy yourself by yourself. You know, I understand we get upset with people. Why do you keep going back to him? Why do you keep going back to her? One, it's a mental thing. It might be a soul tie. Oh my God, if it's a soul tie, I'll pray for you myself. Um, and you're definitely afraid of being alone. I didn't know how bad was being an empath. It is so painful. Okay? Really? Being an empath is so freaking painful when your feelings out of whack. I was out of whack for so many years. So I stayed in bad situations for so freaking long, not realizing that I can do better. You know, that's one of the reasons why I'm so appreciative of my situation right now. I'm very thankful, and I have fun. Like I said, Christmas time, I have fun giving this woman gifts because I think my wife just asked me, I mean, and it's her personality. What do you want? Well, you can't figure that out by now. What do you want? Well, I think about stuff that I know she might want, land, or need, and that's what it is. But like what it is what it is. that's why I can get this and get down the road. Even though, yeah, I'm alone, but I'm not alone. I'm alone, but I'm not alone. I checked in with a friend, and he don't understand what I was doing. And I realized, again, when you're alone, you got a lot of reflection time. You got a lot of reflection time. And my high school reunion, it was like a mega high school reunion. Uh, it just passed. I think it was like 30 or 40 years or something, some crazy thing. Um, and I was just mad about it. But then, this weekend I had a dawn, something that I had to realize I'm not mad. I wasn't mad at those people. I was mad at the fact that I didn't want to be reminded of my high school life. Because it wasn't as great as everybody was acting. Because my home life sucked. My home life was horrible, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I I didn't realize that I was venting. People still beat people. But there's a guy that was asking me, and nobody's getting what I'm saying. Don't ask me if I'm coming to the reunion, and if I hit you up on Facebook and see that you're 6 miles from my house. You live in New York, I live in Georgia. I see you 6 miles from my house. And I send you a message, hey, you're 6 miles from my house. I'm over the road, but next time you're in town, let me know. We can meet up. I wasn't trying to spend the day with you, have a cup of coffee, reminisce, and go about our business. But you give me your butt, you give me your ass to kiss. You see what I'm saying? I'm not that type of person, but as an empath, I kind of hold stuff. That's my weakness. I hold stuff. When somebody pisses you off, do you forgive them or do you hold it in? I hold it in. I already know that's my weakness. I hold it in and I don't let it go. So, I was talking to my best friend. I told him, and he says, so and so asked about you. He didn't mention nothing bad. I don't care if he mentioned nothing bad. I didn't do nothing to him. I just said, hey, we'll meet up for a cup of coffee and you blew me up. You see what I'm saying? But I used that as an excuse not to go to the reunion. The real excuse, one, I ain't had the money. Two, if I did go, I was gonna go with Charles, but all this stuff had happened with his wife, so I still wasn't going. There's two reasons why I wasn't going. And three, I realized because being alone all the time, you would have a lot of time to reflect. And I realized that there's other stuff bothered me about high school. My high school, I wasn't happy about it. It wasn't that great. That's why hey, I got a long way to go with a short time to get there, but I'm recognizing a lot of stuff, a lot of hurt. I need counseling, man, but I can't afford it. But being alone and by yourself, you recognize a lot of stuff. Don't deflect. Accept it. Say, well, what we gonna do? Half the time, everybody wants you to, forgive, let it go. No, you can let it go, but don't forget. With a lot of prayer, you can forgive, or you can just say, "Hey, I'm still working on it. I'm still working on that one, bro." Or I'm not at that level. Everybody thinks because you believe in God, you're supposed to be at that level. No, I'm not at that level. I'm not at that level. See, being by yourself, I prefer, like I said, I had a lot of confusion, a lot of violence, so I prefer to be happy. I prefer to be goofy. I prefer to be mellow because I know you set me off as a defense mechanism. Don't set me off. Leave me alone. That's why I stay to myself. I could see him coming, like I was talking about earlier. Professional beggars. He started walking towards my truck the other day, and I waved him off. Don't even bother. And he gave me that look, and I said it again. Shook my head. Don't bother. I know what y'all are. You're professional beggars. Don't bother. I ain't got no money. If I had to have some money, I'm gonna spend it on myself. Okay, what is this light saying? Okay, do speed ahead, 55 miles an hour. Okay, I think I was doing 55 anyway. Oh, it's going to one single lane. Okay. All the single ladies. I remember. I remember when I was in my first marriage. It's so funny how I didn't know what the word gaslight meant. See, this is all this stuff. Talk about ignorant. That's my middle name. Clueless. My other middle name. What the heck? And I used to get gaslight all the time. And I like Mary J. Blige. She got a song, "I'm Fine," and the whole song, just fine, fine, fine. Oh, I would sing that song because it helped me. But my first, that idiot, I was married to the first one. She's like, you a woman now? Oh, okay, stupid. You gay now? I ain't gay, stupid. It's on you. You trying to find some hateful stuff. No, I'm just fine. I'm fine. Singing the Mary J. Blige song. But I didn't realize that these were things, narcissists and and gaslighting is professional names for this stuff. I just thought you ain't nice. You're not nice to me. You're supposed to be nice to me. Why ain't you nice to me? And it took a while. It toughened me up. Oh boy. I remember close to the Chicago area. I remember, see, all these stories I've said before. I'm cool, but I was in Chicago and I was following the company GPS, and it was telling me go down under this trellis where the railroad tracks were. And I'm like, if I try to go that way, I'm gonna bring this whole thing down. So I literally had to go down a one-way street, and I was terrified. I had my one-way street the wrong way. I was white knuckling the wheel, and I slowed down, rolled down the window, and said, "Excuse me, sir, I'm trying to find such and such." He said, "All right, you're here." I was like, "What?" And then they unloaded me, and the guy said, "I said, how do I get out of here?" He says, "Go that way, right, left, right, left," and then the interstate. So I'm going through and looking for these um, low bridges because anything lower than 13 feet 6 inches, you can't get the thing under. So you got to remember 13.6. So I'm scared to death. And I get on the highway like I am right now. And I was doing like maybe 50. And this guy blew by me, gave me the finger and everything else. And I was in a what you would call it, I'm in an 18-wheeler, but it was a what you would call it, I was governed, so I couldn't go no faster than a certain amount. I put it to the floor, and I'm waving him off like, pull over, pull over. You want to fight? And I was like, and he took off because he see all. I was waving, and I was doing all kind of stuff. I was so mad because you didn't realize that I was on the interstate, but I didn't realize I was back on the interstate. I was terrified. I was on the interstate and they waving me off. See, y'all don't know what someone goes through. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Because God's got his hands on it. I remember I was sitting in the light and the guy's blowing his horn. Because I didn't go yet. It turns out an 18-wheeler back truck ran the light. I would have been dead if I pulled out in the middle of that road. And I hit put the car and parked and got out and said, "See, stupid motherfucker, I'd have been dead." See, you don't know God's plan. Stop trying to push the limits. Relax. Stop trying to engage. Relax. Everything ain't got to be in your business. You know, when we on cruises, never seen a fight before. But if I seen a fight, one, if I'm with Charles, we're gonna be in the back looking and laughing. But if I'm with the wife, grab her, come on, babe, let's go. We ain't looking at this because if somebody swing on you, I'm taking them out. You see what I'm saying? Let's go this way. Let's stay positive. We don't, we're going on a cruise on Margaritaville. It ain't the most expensive thing. It's a low budget cruise line. So guess what? I'm not expecting nothing. So if anything is better than nothing, this is gonna be something. You see what I'm saying? But I was thinking, I was like, well, our next cruise is until July of next year. I don't want to wait that long. Tomorrow's not promised. I don't know if I'll make it home tonight. I ain't gonna make it home tonight anyway. But I'm gonna start living. I'm gonna get this stuff paid off, get these cards paid off, and then live to the best of my ability while my time is still left here. Live your life to the best of your ability. Don't just survive. Live. A lot of us, all we've been doing all of our lives has been surviving. We've been in the trenches for so long. Sometimes you got to get out the trench and breathe the fresh air. Lights saying 55. I'm saying we're going 60. It's going to be a reason. It's going to be some country behind cop. Somewhere around here looking to give me a ticket. I ain't trying to get a ticket. See, this is the thing about being alone for so long. You think about stuff. You can philosophize about stuff. But if you're going to be thinking about stuff, think about positive things in your life. But think about positive things that you can do. Or think about positive things that you can achieve. Because, boy, let me tell you from experience. Think about negative, hurtful, and hateful stuff. When you're alone 99.9% of the time, it will eat you alive. If you got doubts about anything, it will eat you up alive. See, guys, some of us don't know how to be alone. Still trying to figure it out myself. And we use the excuse. Oh, I prefer to be alone. No, you're probably an asshole. Nobody want to be around you. You're probably temperamental, and nobody want to be bothered with you. Hey guys, sorry about that. Phone overheated. Phone overheated, but y'all know, hey, we always got some drama on this on Can't Stop Walking but Love Mowing and Cruising. I totally forgot I had the heater on in the windshield, and that heat was hitting it, so it accelerated the heat more than normal. As usual, I'll be forgetting. I'm old. What y'all want? All right, guys, and we're going to shut it down. Coming up next, Wellness is going to take the stage for positive affirmations and fashion sense and working out and all that light stuff. And cruising is fun anytime. We'll take the stage after that. Go live together with Eddie Lugo Studios at 9 o'clock and Miss T with the T. Y'all have a blessed day. And as always, if you don't think about, that I love you and touch you. See you guys tomorrow. Deuces.